You ready? I have decided to jump on the PC building train. So my current PC is the HP Pavilion, and it has an AMD Ryzen 5 2400G. It's terrible. You can browse the internet with it, and that's about it. You can't do anything like V-Ray, rendering, video editing, gaming, just nothing at all. Like, this is what editing looks like for me.
What?
So I looked through some pre-built PCs, and I was really focused on the specs. And the higher the specs I wanted, obviously, the more expensive and less options they had. And then I finally came across the idea of building my own PC. So I mulled it over for a couple months, and then stuff started to go on sale. So here we are now. So I am super nervous and excited at the same time to start building. I'm scared for all the terrible things that could go wrong, but at the same time, I'm super psyched to see what I could accomplish. So let's get started.
As a disclaimer, this is by no means a tutorial video. This is my very first PC build, and I just wanted to share what that journey was like for me and the struggles perhaps no one has told you about. Secondly, this is not a budget build nor a gaming PC. I am using it for a variety of tasks and have picked my specs based on what will meet the demand. I will leave my specs below down in the description. Other than that, sit back and bask in my upcoming misery. So if you're watching this video, it probably means it worked out because there is no way I could edit on my old PC. So the first step was unboxing the motherboard. It came with a lot of stuff that I just kind of set aside for now. The motherboard was a lot heavier than I anticipated. When I pulled it out of the static bag, I felt like it would break if I kept holding it with one hand. Next up was the CPU, which people tell you to just pull up the lever, match up the triangle with the corner of the motherboard, and just let gravity do the rest of the work as it slides in, which did go as people describe it, so I was pretty happy with that. As for the RAM sticks, those were a different story. Apparently it's supposed to slide in easily and you hear a click. Well, I heard sand grating before I heard that click. I probably flipped through the manual about 3 times before I actually got the RAM stick in, because I was afraid that I was doing something wrong. And finally, we have the M.2 SSDs. This motherboard comes with 3 slots, which I absolutely love because it's great for future upgrades. I chose to get 2 for now, a 500GB for my operating system and a 2TB for my storage. My previous PC uses a hard drive, so booting up takes forever. However, I heard M.2s are super fast, and I really want to see if that is the case.
This is the Lian 011 Dynamic. Apparently it's a mid-tower case. It's pretty big for that. And I got it in white, and I'm sure you've seen it. It's super popular, but I also found it really cute. So.
For the fans, I chose to go with Lian Unifan SL. I chose it for their design and for their daisy chaining method, where one cord can control up to 4 fans instead of having a wire for each individual fan. I thought it would make my build look clean while also minimizing the complexity of connecting fans, as I didn't want to run into the issue of not having enough fan heads on my motherboard or incompatible controllers. I also find it cute that they came with stickers so that you can hide the backside of the fans with the logo.
Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, well, I don't wanna jinx it, baby, and twist myself at the spine. Don't wanna overthink it, baby. It's just twist your body and mine. Baby, you got me ice and fire. You're giving me wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, but I don't wanna jinx it, baby. Let's not get ahead of my time. Oh, but I don't wanna miss you, baby. So I stand up and speak goodbye.
When it comes to plugging in cables, I was told to be very gentle with them because the pins may bend. However, plugging them in was actually harder than I thought. No, really, I had to use a lot more force than I anticipated, and the cables were actually very, very stiff, making it very hard to bend them. And finally, the last component to add, the GPU. After keeping an eye on the GPU market for a few weeks, I was able to grab the last RTX 3080 in the store near me that was still at a reasonable price. I did have a hiccup while locking this GPU in, although it clicked where the tab is on the right. The side closest to the case didn't actually slide into the slot. It seems that the distance from the GPU bracket to the motherboard was a little too perfect, and I had to try a few times and add a bit of force to get the GPU to slide in evenly. Oh yeah, and also putting the support bracket was a pain in the butt too. Now, while I set up this GPU, let me tell you what state I was in. It had been 7 hours since I woke up and 5 hours since I've been putting this rig together. I was so focused on building that I hadn't realized that I'd been running on nothing but half a cup of coffee. Yes, half. I was too enraptured to even remember to drink the rest. Anyway, by now it had started to take a toll on me. I was getting tired and it was enhancing my anxiety on whether this PC would start up. And as soon as I plugged the GPU in, it was time for the test run. And here's what happened.
You ready? No, it's supposed to turn on. So I was really stupid and forgot that there's a power button. Oh, I had a heart attack. Oh my god.
Now that it's working, I closed out my PC, screwed in the Wi-Fi, and tried to set up Windows. I chose Windows 11 Pro, downloaded from my laptop, and plugged it into the back of the PC, where apparently it should automatically boot. Or not. Okay, it turns out that my motherboard had a CPU fan speed error, which after looking on the internet, you can get rid of by setting the fan speed to ignore. After saving the configuration, the error was gone and Windows booted up.
Hi. It's been a few days and I just have a couple of updates after fiddling around with my new PC. So first off is that I noticed when I started using my PC that when the fan started to go over 800 RPM, so like minimum rotation, it got really loud. So the bottom fan started sounding like a jet engine. Not as loud as one, but sounded like one. So to solve it, I got these fan gaskets. It was really hard to figure out what the names were. If I just typed in like fan spacer or something, nothing would show up. And I found out it was like a shroud or a gasket. So it's just like these rubber pads about a few millimeters thick. And I added them to the bottom in between the fan and the case, and it quieted down a lot. I also added one between the fan and the radiator of the AIO, and that actually quieted it down a lot too. You can still hear it when the fans ramp up, not as much, and it takes a lot more RPM. But you know, it sounds more like a computer rather than something taking off. Other than that, I really love this PC. The quality is amazing, and I will show you some comparisons I did in a few aspects that I guess really bothered me beforehand, and now it's completely fixed. So here it is.
First up is booting. The new PC took way less time to boot, probably because it's running the OS on an M.2 drive instead of a hard drive. I had to speed both of them up, otherwise we'd be here all day. Next is starting up Adobe. Now this file I'm opening up is quite big because it has a lot of 4K footage, so even I was shocked at how fast the new PC was able to load it up. The old PC, on the other hand, took over 3 minutes before it crashed. Even comparing the playback, the new PC was so smooth. Even though I'm rewatching my own video, I saw so many frames and details that I've missed when I was using my old PC to edit. And lastly, rendering. Now this is a huge file that even I wasn't sure would boot up on my sister's Surface laptop, which was bought only last year. It was still a bit choppy on the new PC, but for a file of this size, we were genuinely surprised by how well you can navigate and even render on Enscape, which was very fast and slick. We didn't even bother trying on the laptop because it barely let us do anything on this file.
And with that, I will end it here. It's quite a long video, so thank you if you actually stayed all the way to the end. And I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like and subscribe. I would really appreciate that. And I'm looking forward to improving my editing skills to create better content. So with that, thank you and bye.